On guys, it's Lady B. Today we have the 7th war for ESL Shaft that ATN went in 6-0. Question is, did they come out undefeated or did NoLeX get the best of them? Stay tuned. What's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today you're actually seeing me in a completely different environment. And the reason that you didn't get to see me live stream the war is because I had an appointment down in the city at the hospital, and then my mom and I are heading straight down to North Carolina, stopping in DC for a visit down to see my uncle who's not doing so well. So my schedule is going to be a bit off this week, but I wanted to make sure that we keep up with the videos coming through and the ATN action, of course. And today I was cheering on the guys, watching live actually at the hospital and on our drive down to DC. And I figure we'll do a little bit different here. We're going to go through kind of a quick recap. We're not going to go necessarily play by play. We're going to fast forward through, but we will take a look at all of the incredible hits. And the big question is, ATN went into this 6-0. This is the 7th match of ESL Shaft in Season 3 during the group stages. They've gone undefeated, but did they come out of this undefeated? Stay tuned and find out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to check out all the links below in the description, including my Discord server where you can get free weekly drops courtesy of blueprint base building of some great bases from the best base builders around, and you can find links to my social media. But without further ado, let's take a look into ATN versus NoLeX. So NoLeX kicked off the war, drawing first blood here, and as you can see, we've got NLX bats coming up to bat and bringing in some Inferno drag action. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be a little bit different because I didn't actually get to stream the war today. So we are doing a quick recap, and we're going to take a look at the incredible war, and we're going to see it in the attack order that it came through so you can get a little bit more of the feel. Now, let's take a look through as Bats comes in with this Inferno drag attack, and notice this, the base. We've got this Boom's base, which I can assume is probably something he's built for Legends because we know our ATN guys are building for Legends, and we've got this box-style base. I love the way he sections it off, but the King and Queen working together from that 9 o'clock side down to the 6 o'clock side of the base, solely taking care of that chamber. We had the blimp sail through into the town hall part. Now, this is very reminiscent to those ring-style bases, so a blimp is a very nice option. But look at the power that these Inferno drags get, and the spread out is very nice. I like the way that he handles the multi-targeting Infernos, holding them off with the freezes, including the range of the scatter shot. Look at that freeze range. That is huge value there with just the combination of those freeze spells. And of course, the Skelly spells distracting the heroes to give the Inferno drags the opportunity to work their way through and of course take down the Eagle artillery. But look how much power remains. We have the RC sailing her way across, but we're still holding on to the Queen ability, and guess what was not even needed? The poison spell. So this was a phenomenal start to the war for NoLeX. A great way to kick it off going up against the undefeated team ATN by picking up the 3-star. So next up to bat and first to hit for ATN is our MVP, Vala. Now, this is one of the attack strategies that I actually love to see him do other than the Zapquake, Log Launcher, Lalo, and that would be Dragon attacks. Now, we have to note that now that we're in Town Hall 14, we have all these amazing combinations of the hero pets working through, and we do have Vala coming in with the Queen and using the Unicorn. No, we don't have healers, so this actually helps extend her life. And the King with the Yak, a lot of power coming in, knocking out this entire corner, and look at the value he's looking to pick up while shaping up the path for the dragons. We have the Queen taking on the Town Hall, that Unicorn giving her the extra bit of life she needs just to get in that compartment and take it down. And the Yak, despite the fact that he doesn't have these boosted, he doesn't have them fully maxed out, still picking up that entire scatter shot chamber here. So looking pretty good. And we can see that we have this nice set path set in place. It's actually the nice feature about not doing these live is I can pause it for a second. But we take down that entire 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock quadrant and leave a nice line of path for the dragons coming through. But holy value from this baby dragon. I love it, especially with the combination of the Stone Slammer that keeps the dragons funneled and in line. And this baby dragon actually really is useful on the cleanup on the outside edge with the Stone Slammer keeping the drags right inside this base here. Now, yes, we don't have the cannon go down. We didn't have the Grand Warden Tower go down, but it was still enough of a push for the dragons to work through. And we get to see a nice freeze combination coming in here for that multi-targeting Inferno, though that's not the biggest risk to dragons. Those are singles that really bother them. But it keeps them alive and moving along nicely as they spread around. But look at the bats coming in. And now these bats, I mean, I don't even think they were fully needed with how much he had left over with these dragons. And look at the Royal Champ coming in, still half health and ability left over. Absolutely coming in and crushing the base. And this is why I love to see Vala doing dragon attacks, because we get to see it so clearly defined in the way he sets up his paths and the way that he really thinks about what splash damage is going to remain and how he can best use his bats and the Royal Champ combination alongside with the dragons to get the job done. So Vala going point for point against NoLeX in this one. So it's none other than NoLex's fearless leader, Reen, coming in and trying to take out our first hitter and MVP, Vala. And again, we get to see the continuation of the Inferno Drags actually coming through with this one. Still a popular strategy going from Town Hall 13 into Town Hall 14 that we get to see. Now we see the loons coming through, Baby Dragon down, and we know we have a blimp, so are we going to see a little bit of a path set? Notice the 2 lightning combination to target the air sweeper to help with the position here. So we've shaped up a little bit of a path. We have the Eagle open and exposed. We've got the King and Queen on the outside, but we have a Town Hall on the back end. So we know that blimp is actually going to come through to take on the Town Hall section. But I like the way that he's actually using the heroes together. Again, we get to see the combination of the King and Queen with the Yak and the Unicorn to actually take on for this cleanup, hero dive, chunk of the section of the base to keep these Inferno Dragons through and through. We get a nice free spell over the multi-targeting Inferno, very key for these Inferno Dragons. Now it doesn't hold off the scatter shot, but the King and Queen actually come into play in taking that on, and even have the Yak that throws its way through the wall and gets access, so the Queen could have easily sniped it out anyway, but that was really nice defense. Then, now that the path is sailed through and set up, we've got the blimp safely along for the Town Hall here. This was looking absolutely solid. Queen forcing the ability here at the end, trying to work her way through the scatter shot, but we've got the Royal Champ to save the day here. Plus, we've got a fairly full health King with the use of the Unicorn, which is a nice combination, again, for this kind of raid. The Queen and the Yak did great work, but the King helps with so much of the cleanup, and it's up to the Royal Champ. We've got the Skellies, that final spell saved over to help distract the scatter shot and the splash damage on the back end, so the Royal Champ can sneak her way in and help take it down, particularly with that Warden Tower there. So a very, very powerful push, and I gotta say, a very solid start coming in from NoLeX, who is just throwing punches left and right and trying not to back down against ATN, who has so far in their group phase gone undefeated. Now you might notice a little bit different name here that is familiar, but not usually part of the ESLM lineup. So we have today Sir Iron, who's taking the place of Linnaid. Now you know Sir Iron as one of our OP base builders who does a ton of work for our team and helping to really defend for the ATN, and he is also an amazing attacker, and we actually get to see him coming in today with the Super Witch combination. Again, you're seeing a lot of the same strategies that we know from Town Hall 13, which is really nice, and I love this. I love the combination of these Warden Walks using the Electro Owl. Now, yes, your Electro Owl might wind up being targeted by some of the troops on the outside, though in this case it's actually the Warden that gets targeted by that Archer Tower, so really nice on that it didn't take too far of a lead there. Nice wall break open here, and the Warden and the Witches now have access to work their way through. He's going with that short push, and that actually helps save oh no, it doesn't help save the owl long enough, unfortunately. But it does help with a quick push in. And when you're using Super Witches, you have to think about this combination, which is why I actually like the Electro Owl, because it does help the Warden get through his cleanup a lot quicker. And a nice direct push. We've got the double jump combination leading through the Town Hall in the center, but look at the flanking defenses that we have to worry about, like the scatter shot at 9 o'clock. King and the Yak on the outside of the base, but he set up a nice funnel to actually force the King into that 9 o'clock chamber, and with the King and the P.E.K.K.A working together, they're actually able to take that out, but he doesn't want to take any risks, and I noticed this, so he brings in the Royal Champ, now that the King and P.E.K.K.A are still tanking, so the Royal Champ and the combination of Lassie working together to take on that scatter shot, She's got enough cover that she can hang on to her ability for the back end. And as we look through the back end here, there really is no damage to worry about. Take a look at this. We're not looking at any single targeting infernos. The eagle's down, the scatter shots are down. So this is easy cleanup. Now, yes, right now there's 32 seconds. We're looking at a replay. But look at what he's got left over, the queen ability. He's got a headhunter for any possible back-end heroes, but it can be used for cleanup. We've got 2 freezes and an invisibility spell. There is a lot on the board because there's about 30% remaining on the base, but he's got so much firepower with the Super Witches left over. And again, these abilities. And this is very important when you're doing Super Witch attacks, and any kind of smash attack is trying to reserve the hero abilities as far to the end as possible. Because if you're going to have any nasty defenses that you have to worry about, like scattershot, single targeting infernos, and eagles, you want it for there. But if you're also worrying about cleanup, you might need it to help force your way through, especially that Royal Champ ability, which can get you out of some sticky situations. Sir Iron, though, taking it like a champ and throwing down the 3-star. Now, with ATN not backing down, it's NoLex's opportunity to keep applying the pressure. And we've got N999 coming in. And what do we get to see? More Inferno Drag attacks. It seems like NoLeX has found a weakness here for ATN in their base building. And I'm curious to see after this war if this is something we're going to see ATN trying to figure out a way to defend, though we know it's very difficult. And looking at this base, this goes against all the Inferno Drag rules because we can actually say 1, 2, 3 multi-targeting Infernos. And multis, we know, are not friends to the Inferno Drags. These are typically what you avoid, and you mostly don't want to go after bases that have any more than 2 multi-targeting Infernos. So let's see what N999 has in store. Notice the king bringing the yak. We've got the queen with the unicorn. I like the start to the baby dragon, taking care of some of the cleanup value on the outside of the base, where it's completely, for the most part, unobstructed by a lot of air targeting damage. We just have that single archer tower going through, and with the loon set in place for these Inferno Drags, we've got a nice easy push coming in and started up, which means the heroes, the king and queen, are going to be slightly delayed coming in to keep it set apart past this eagle artillery. So the king and the yak taking the lead here as the queen swiftly works her way through. And it's that air defense that you do have to worry about. So nice freeze holds it off because that can easily pick off those Inferno Drags. You do have to worry about those air defenses. If that stays up, we've seen this space, I believe, in the past or something similar where it has picked things off. But I like the way that N99 handles it. And a nice sail through of the blimp. The warden ability has already been used, but the baby dragons have actually cleared out that path. As we get to this tough core, we do have to worry again about these multis that we were talking about. So I like the way that this is actually picked off because you can see the king and queen are focused, centralized. It wasn't the eagle that we were worried about. It was back end chamber, getting the cleanup set through and getting the king and queen into the multi-target in the 3 o'clock side of the chamber so that the Inferno Drags really only have to worry about that main one in the center of the base. And don't forget, we still have the Royal Champion in play that can help work through. And having your heroes, when you can hold on to these abilities, similar with the witch attacks and the smash style attacks, this will help you out of a sticky situation again with the Inferno Drags when you have multis on the back end. Now, yes, we get a bit of a split. It does the Inferno Drags dirty. We lose them in the core. We've got a couple of cleanup on the outside, but we've got the queen ability. We've got the Royal Champ. We've got a Skelly spell left over. This is lovely. And you can see the use of the Skelly spells distracting that scatter shot, which is giving a little bit more extra life to this Royal Champ, who really does need it, as we have the cannons and that ground bow firing away. Launches that Seeking Shield straight to the multi-targeting Inferno, gets a shot off, but we still have the queen ability intact. And we've got a half-health warden. We've got a king who's still alive and tanking. So this is absolutely lovely. And that queen ability, not even needed. Gets through the rest of this back end because it was a multi-targeting Inferno. We're not talking about a single in the back end. That's easy peasy cleanup for your heroes. I gotta say, at this point, I am impressed at seeing what NoLeX is doing, especially that they've gone 3 for 3 on their Inferno Drag rates and showing how powerful it is of a strategy currently in Town Hall 14. With NoLeX not backing down, it's only up to AST at this point to try and keep some of the momentum alive for ATN. And yes, we've got plenty more attacks to go, but let's see how AST approaches this base. Now I notice that he's coming in with the Lalo, and we've got a Hero Dive Lalo with the use of the Ice Golem that's going to help to tank, and some Skelly spells. Oh, okay. We're going right in the core here. Comes in and targets the Eagle. Now it's just the Skellies and the Rage going for the Eagle and gets down the heroes as well. We've got the Queen, we've got the Royal Champ down, we've got the Eagle down, and we've got these ground bows that are surrounding. See if it's enough to go the distance. This one almost going down here. It doesn't look like the right side's going to go down. Neither go down, but he picks up some nice solid value, taking out the core. Now, what do we know about the core of these bases? A lot of times we call them damage zones. It's where we're seeing a lot of the traps, so that's why you want to eliminate it. But we also take on a couple of big targets, the Eagle Artillery, and we take down the Queen and the Royal Champ. So nice value within that. Now, yes, we have the ground bows to worry about, and we do have this Hound that actually holds off the heroes who have to take on some damage. Royal Champ and Queen working together to quickly pick that off, and we've got the King to work into the Scattershot Chamber, and that's where we get to see the value of that Ice Golem to do some tanking, get the King enough power coming in. Now, he's got the Unicorn with him. The Queen had the Yak and doesn't quite sneak her way into the space, but we're talking about ground bows. Ground bows, no biggie for the air attacks. Royal Champ does help snipe off the path that we need, and the King gets enough to take down that Scattershot over on the 3 o'clock chamber. No more, though. That's about it. So it seems like shallow value. It does seem kind of like shallow value, but we can see a nice, clear L-shaped path set and in place. An early Warden ability as we make the approach early on into that multi-targeting Inferno. But remember, we've got all the Scattershots down now. All these scatters are down. No Eagle to worry about. Yes, we have to worry about the Town Hall, but look at that. Sails that blimp straight through, Yeti Bomb all the way, getting it taken down. And it's a single that remains there, and the Air Sweeper just on the 12 o'clock push side. So we still have what we need to haste those loons in and keep the pathing moving along. So this is 100%, maybe 200% IQ coming in from AST. An absolutely lovely plan. Another haste down. We've even got one more for the back end, which is always good to have in your back pocket when you've got multis on the back end to worry about, and some splash. We've got the Wizard and Archer Tower combinations. But look at this lovely split that helps these loons moving all day long. And are you kidding me? This Queen is still alive and working her way around. We've still got goblins for the cleanup coming out, and those loons finishing the job here. And AST just sailing away with another 3-star for ATN and keeping this war as close as possible. At this point, we have seen both teams go 3-3. NoLeX going solely with their Inferno Drag attacks, and then a little mix up here and there from ATN, as we got to see some nice variety so far between this Lalo, Vala's Drag attack, and we got to see Sir Iron with the Super Witches. So both of these teams now 9-9, 2 more hits left to go for both sides. Now, as the pressure continues to build, the question is, can NoLeX keep the dream alive? Can they continue trying to put ATN in a corner? It's up to Beezus to get it done. And for him, we actually have him coming in with the hybrid, finally diverging from the all Inferno Drag attack that they've gone in. So let's see how he approaches this one. Kicks it off with the Queen working with the Electro Owl. I think this is one of the first times I've actually seen the Queen working with the Electro Owl, and I like it because I think the Electro Owl can do a lot of work, but unfortunately in this case, it gets targeted a little bit too early, so we don't get to see it done. In other cases, you might get to see the value, but I do think the Warden has better range for it. The Queen tends to get a little bit too close. It's just 2 tile spaces closer than the Warden gets to targeted ranges. But a beautiful push in coming through as the Queen quickly takes on the Town Hall, takes on the defending Queen, and having to force her way through, getting past these ground bows. It's a nice long range that they can use to help cover some of the defense. But this is a huge chunk of value with just one single wall break invested so far of the Queen taking this on. Now she gets the full Clan Castle Lure coming in, nice freeze poison combination to hold them off. And as this goes on, let's actually point out the fact that he knows she's going to keep going. He has 2 more super wall breakers. So why risk the time factor when you already have the path set up and in place where you can start the hybrid and move it along, because you don't want to worry about the time issues on this regardless. So the King and the Yak on the outside edge, great combination for these cleanup style pushes on the outside, and can keep your King going longer to help with the cleanup for things like hybrid, which you need. Now the Queen does not need to break inside the wall yet because she's got that open passage that pushes her around, and that helps with the timing of this hybrid starting early. Nice combination, Warden ability, helping to keep through the sticky situation where we have the multi, the ground bow, and the eagle firing away at all of these miners and hogs left over. Queen is going on like a champ, carrying on to her ability, and we've got those wall breaks that can help open up the chamber, but I noticed that it was used to take on the king and getting him in, though it didn't get as much value. I think he could have helped with the cleanup quite a bit on the outside, but we do get the additional reinforcement of those hogs coming through to try and help out. It's a bit of a struggle for these miners, but they are still up and intact, but the royal champ has unfortunately burned through her ability. It would be up to the queen now at this point to work her way through, and we've got that landlocked scatter shot, but we do have a freeze that we're holding off. The multi, though, does no favors to these miners, quickly picking off one by one as the storages actually help to defend. And again, we've got that builder hut, the new weaponized builder huts that really help keep things moving along. Now that the queen's actually broken outside and in place, this is a bit problematic. We've got 32 seconds left. We've got the queen forcing her way through. Uses the ability because I do think that he's worried about time at this point. But is that a mistake coming in, knowing that you have to get past the scatter shot and beat through those walls to get through it? So the builder hut goes down quickly, which is great because it means that the queen has some time to get through the walls. But it's 12 seconds left at this point. Queen struggling to get through, taking on the damage from the scatter shot. Now that's the only damage coming in. So she is fine on that, but there's not enough time to get the job done, and Beezus is left with a 98%. So this is the first fault that we have seen come through with all the attacks coming in at this point, and now NoLeX going 3 for 4, but at 98%, not a bad spot to be in. It just depends if we're going to see a perfect war or a possible 99%, which we have seen, 14-star 99% war coming in from ATN. Okay, so it is Boom coming in at what I call the dreaded spot for him, the number 4 attack position. And we know this is like the cursed spot, especially for Boom during the World Championship warm-ups. This is a notoriously low hit rate spot. Typically the attackers that come in 4th place, we've seen statistically, tend to have the lower hit rate, and typically it's likely due to combinations of how they set up their plans and when they want the attack order and their comfortability with what they're actually going through. So I tend to think when they put Boom or any of the players in this situation, they're not quite as sure of the plan that they're going in as they are with some of the other ones that they want to go through. And we can see Boom's got a Zap, Quake, Lalo lined up, which we know is one of his specialties. I mean, any Lalo is ATN specialty. So comes in with the Zapquake right away, knocking out the core of the base and taking down a multi. And again, what's the big thing that we worry about? Worry about the damage zone. So we've eliminated the pathing through the core where the traps would likely be. We've got a nice opening because the Town Hall's here, right along that outside edge. Single layer wall break gets a king and queen. Great value, especially again with the use of the yak and the unicorn combination. I think this is going to be one of the most common combinations that you see for a lot of the Sui Lalos. It just offers beautiful value coming through and through. And the nice thing about this chamber is we also take on the clan castle troops. So it's a nice big push and impressive because did we have the ice golem come in? We had to have had that ice golem start things off and get a little bit more power through. And the queen stays far enough behind that she's actually able to work her way through and stays almost out of range of the poison bomb radius, so she can actually finish off this chamber. Royal Champ coming in, taking out a nice line drive, and all we have to worry about is the scatter shot and the Eagle Artillery. Stone Slammer to start it off. Queen is still alive, hanging on to her ability, mind you, as she works her way around. Does force the ability as the Stone Slammer takes on the multi-targeting Inferno. Is it enough to spare her and keep her going? I think the Royal Champ will take her down, but this pathing for the Lalo is absolutely solid. We've got the Headhunters coming in as the Warden sneaks his way through, gets that tome ability off. Perfect timing because we want to see these Headhunters sweeping up, taking down the defending queen, and it's a nice time with the dragon pulling through and those super minions. Plus, let's not forget the amount of valuable work that Electro Owl does working with the Warden in these Lalos. Now at this point, we've got 2 freezes left over, a ton of loons, and that Hound that tanks us away straight to the air defense, picking up the traps and allowing those pups to actually start taking care of cleanup on the storages, which is huge because the loons can settle through, take on the defenses, and those storages are already getting some damage taken down. So cleanup is a lot easier. When you have the storages left over on the back end, it's a big worry. So having that hound pot there is incredible. And Boom gets to finish this one off with a 3-star and swagging it free. So now we have finally seen ATN take some cover on ground here. 1 star up. I mean, this is huge. But we still have 2 more attacks left to go. ATN is 4-4 in their hits. NoLeX is 3-4. But what happens with the final remaining attacks? So COC Hacker with the final attack for NoLeX, and he's in a tough position knowing that his team is 1 star down, though they have a 98%, but a 3-star is their only hope if they can hold a defense, and that would mean a 90% or lower in order to get the win in this match and tie up at 14. But ATN has just been going solid, so let's see if COC Hacker can handle the pressure on this one. And going in, no more Inferno Drags, coming in with the drag bat attack like we got to see Vala come through with. So taking a little page out of ATN's notebook here. We've got that initial wall break in. Loon's lining this up, looking like he's opening up the path leading into the town hall to get the clearing. Nice use of the super giant to actually tank for the queen and get the value needed to set in place. We're already seeing this shape up. And those loons, again, a perfect way to ensure that the queen gets that safe passage going into the town hall. Very, very nice use there. Giant does its job. Tanks gives the queen exactly what she needs to work along. We do see the unicorn that helps give her a little additional healing value as she works in. Tornado Trap pops up, throwing a giant bomb, but it does not stop the queen from taking down that town hall, taking down the royal champ, and not picking up too much more value, unfortunately, but taking on those main components to shape up the path. Now the queen, the king, and the royal champion together here from the opposite side, taking on the scattershot chamber and sectioning this off, looking like we're going to see a nice narrow push coming through where the queen is and the multi-targeting Inferno. Town Hall's taken down, so this is an easy line drive coming through, and we have the Stone Slammer even that can help force the path through where we have that side-swiping scatter shot to ensure that the dragons stay a little bit more focused and have some tank coming in. That was some nice power coming in from the Royal Champion, and it does manage to get a shot off on the multi-targeting Inferno right here in the core, so going to help quickly get these dragons through. And now again, multi-targeting Infernos not as big of a deal as a back-end single-targeting Infernos that will quickly roast your drags, but they get hung up on structures and storages or heroes. It can actually quickly start picking them off. But we can't forget, we've got those bats to come through. And let's pause this for a second because we've got 3 more freezes. He's already got 1 down, helping to hold off the Wizard Tower. But we don't have a lot of splash on the back end because we took 1 out with a king and we took 1 out with the Stone Slammer and the dragons here. So it's really these Wizard Towers that we have to worry about in just 2 with 3 freezes plus a chunk of dragons that are going to path their way down towards the 9 o'clock's chamber. So it's really just working our way through. I like that he's covered ground with the eagle, ensuring that he keeps the dragons alive. He is not skimping, holding off the air defense and the single targeting Inferno. Huge. He doesn't worry about the splash damage because we've got the dragons coming through, but it's that single and the air defense that would quickly pick them off. And man, these bats are just doing a number alongside of the dragons, and this is absolutely wrecked. So COC Hacker is not crumbling under pressure. NoLeX is ready and set to see if they can find their way to victory, but they need a defense, and it would need to be 97% or lower coming in from ATN, and we still have Yo-Yo left with a final hit. So Yo-Yo, with the final pressure on his back, the weight of this entire war, the weight of the undefeated position for ATN rests on his shoulders, and that is a very heavy crown to wear. I love that we're getting to see Yo-Yo come in with a final attack and coming through with a Lalo. Now I noticed 2 Skelly spells that we have coming in here, so wait and see where these come into play. Loon's coming down to help clear out some of the passage here, and Sneaky Goblin. We've got the wall break open for the king setting in place. Queen working her way through. Sneaky Goblin again forcing this path straight into the town hall. Very much loving this so far. Now, nothing really other than the giant to tank for the king and queen, but again, we have the use of the yak, the king and the yak combination, the queen with the unicorn, like this whole combo together, or the vice versa. As long as those are working together, you get some incredible value. Now look at the space. We've got all these builder huts looking to help protect the town hall, but it doesn't. It doesn't stop this from going through. Queen gets almost all of those builder huts down. One does manage to survive. Royal Champ comes in to snipe off that 6 o'clock chamber and does some nice, decent work coming through, though I think would have liked to have seen a little bit more clean value coming in. We do have to worry about the core of the base. We've got the queen, we've got the eagle. So let's see where this winds up. We do have the Stone Slammer in line, and the position that he's placing this is likely to help force it through inside the core of the base. That Stone Slammer, if you're going to leave a core, you kind of want there, setting in place. And we've got the entire clan castle lure coming through, including headhunters coming out with our warden here. But we've got freezes, and we've got poison spells to help hold them off. Did those poisons get in place and take down some of those headhunters? It looks like it did. He does manage to get those down, but he's coming through on the back end. Freeze to help keep that hound alive. Loon's coming in. He's got the drag set in place, gets through the core, but it's his back end. We still have to worry about getting through these multis and these freezes. I feel maybe slightly early, trying to keep the scatter shot off those loons that remained, and unfortunately, it's not quite enough. Everything getting picked off left and right. The warden's down, the dragon, not enough to come through, but it's the absolute demolishing of the loons on the board, trying to cut across. This just did not quite shape up the way Yo-Yo had hoped to see. And unfortunately, not enough recovery. And we're now at 81%, knowing that the 97% is what NoLeX needed. They've got more than enough for the win. And with this final devastating attack, we've got NoLeX coming in to victory against ATN. So NoLeX with an incredible defense down at the buzzer. Last attack to come through, taking down Mighty Yo-Yo with, taking him down with his Lalo attack. What a solid, solid defense. You can see here, well fought war, 14-14. But 98% that they had put up was more than enough to secure their victory. So I gotta say, a huge congratulations to NoLeX for the phenomenal performance this week and taking down our, who were undefeated champs at the time, and getting that win under their belt and moving their way up the ranks just a little bit more this week. So we'll see if ATN can get back on track. We do have another matchup coming up on Wednesday, so stay tuned as they face off against the Dark Unicorns, who actually nearly took them down a couple of weeks back. This was when it was Town Hall 13, so we might see things adjust a little bit as we go through, but really exciting to see, because that was an epically close war, and if you missed it out, you can actually take a look at the VODs. Make sure to tune in and watch that incredible war and how well DU actually did against ATN. But that's about it for now. So I still got to give a huge shout out to my ATN guys. Always love seeing them play, and you know what? This just means they're human. You know, every time we see them go into war, we expect that we're going to see absolute perfection, and it can't happen all the time. These guys are playing at an incredible level, and they had a ton of matchups actually in today's match, because they're not only playing ESL Meisterschaft, they are playing ESL Mobile Open simultaneously, and had 4 previous matches in the same day. So a lot of base building going on, a lot of work going through, and I think they can deal with one loss under their belt. But let's see if they can recoup on Wednesday in their next match. But that's about it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to give a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn the notifications on so you know when these videos drop. And don't forget to check out the descriptions in the link below, where we have links to my Discord server where you can get free drops of weekly basis, base links, courtesy of Blueprint Base Building, and you can follow me on social media over on Twitch and Instagram. Until next time, this is ADB. I'll catch you guys later.